Behind the billions. When you look at a diamond ring, what do you see? You see a symbol of eternal love, luxury, and rare beauty. You have been told your entire life that diamonds are incredibly scarce and highly valuable. You believe that a man must spend at least 2 months of his salary to prove his devotion. But what if I told you that everything you know about diamonds is a meticulously crafted lie? What if I told you that diamonds are actually just common rocks, abundant in the Earth's crust? Today, we are going to expose the greatest marketing scam in the history of human capitalism. We are going to look at the De Beers cartel, a ruthless monopoly that brainwashed the entire planet. This is the story of how a group of powerful men took a worthless stone and transformed it into the ultimate symbol of love. To understand this massive deception, we must travel back to the late 19th century. In the 1870s, massive diamond mines were discovered in South Africa. Before this discovery, diamonds were actually quite rare, owned only by royalty and ultra-wealthy aristocrats. But suddenly, the market was flooded with millions of carats of these sparkling stones. The British financiers who controlled the South African mines realized they were facing a catastrophic problem. Diamonds were no longer rare, and because they were no longer rare, their price was about to crash to zero. They knew that if the public realized how common diamonds actually were, the entire industry would collapse overnight. Enter Cecil Rhodes, an ambitious and ruthless British businessman with a terrifying vision. Rhodes realized that the only way to save the diamond industry was to establish an absolute, unbreakable monopoly. He aggressively bought up almost every single diamond mine in South Africa and merged them into one giant corporation. He named this corporate behemoth De Beers Consolidated Mines. Rhodes effectively controlled over 90% of the world's rough diamond production. But controlling the mines was only the first step in his master plan. The real genius of the De Beers cartel was how they manipulated the global supply. De Beers created a massive, centralized syndicate in London to control every diamond that entered the market. They stockpiled millions of diamonds in massive underground vaults, intentionally keeping them away from the public. By artificially restricting the supply, De Beers created a fake illusion of extreme scarcity. They starved the market, releasing only a tiny trickle of diamonds each year to keep prices artificially sky high. They acted as the ultimate gatekeepers, deciding exactly who could buy diamonds and at what price. If any independent miner tried to sell diamonds outside the De Beers syndicate, the cartel would crush them. De Beers would suddenly flood the market with similar diamonds, crashing the price and driving the competitor into bankruptcy. Once the rival was destroyed, De Beers would buy their mines for pennies and tighten their grip even further. Through sheer financial violence and absolute control, De Beers built an unstoppable global monopoly. But in the 1930s, the cartel faced an existential crisis that threatened to destroy everything. The Great Depression hit, and the global economy completely collapsed. People were struggling to buy food and pay rent, so nobody was buying useless, expensive rocks. Sales plummeted, and De Beers realized that controlling the supply was no longer enough. They needed to control the minds of the consumers. They needed to create a psychological demand so powerful that people would buy diamonds, even during an economic depression. In 1938, De Beers hired N.W. Ayer, one of the most powerful advertising agencies in New York. Their mission was simple, but incredibly difficult: brainwash the American public into believing that diamonds were an absolute necessity for marriage. The advertising executives at N.W. Ayer launched the most aggressive, deceptive, and brilliant marketing campaign in human history. They started by secretly paying Hollywood studios to feature diamond engagement rings. In every major movie, they gave massive diamonds to famous actresses, ensuring they were photographed by the press wearing them. They planted stories in newspapers and magazines, equating the size of the diamond with the size of a man's love. They created a powerful social stigma, implying that a man who proposed without a diamond was a cheap, unworthy failure. And then, in 1947, a young copywriter named Francis Garrity wrote a single sentence that changed the world forever. A diamond is forever. These 4 simple words became the ultimate weapon of the De Beers cartel. The slogan was a stroke of absolute psychological genius. And here is the dark reason why. De Beers had a terrifying problem: the secondary market. If people started selling their used diamonds back into the market, the supply would increase and prices would crash. De Beers needed a way to stop people from ever selling their diamonds. By convincing the public that a diamond represents eternal love, they made it socially unacceptable to ever sell the stone. You do not sell a symbol of your eternal devotion. You keep it forever, you lock it in a safe, and you pass it down to your daughter. A diamond is forever was not a romantic statement. It was a ruthless economic strategy to eliminate the secondhand market. They successfully trapped millions of diamonds in the hands of consumers, ensuring they would never be resold to compete with De Beers. Later, in the 1980s, De Beers launched another brilliant psychological attack. They needed a way to dictate exactly how much money a man should spend on a ring. So they invented the 2-month salary rule out of thin air. They ran massive ad campaigns telling men that, true love requires sacrificing exactly 2 months of their income. There was no historical or economic basis for this rule. It was completely fabricated by an advertising agency to extract maximum wealth from the middle class. And incredibly, the entire world fell for it. We accepted this arbitrary rule as an ancient, sacred tradition. For over a century, De Beers maintained absolute control over the market and our minds. They convinced us to trade our hard-earned wealth for polished carbon. But today, this invincible monopoly is facing a threat that they cannot manipulate, buy, or destroy. The threat is science. In recent years, the market has been disrupted by the explosion of lab-grown diamonds. These are not cheap imitations, cubic zirconia, or fake crystals. Lab-grown diamonds are created in highly advanced laboratories, using extreme heat and pressure, or chemical vapor deposition. They are chemically, physically, and optically identical to natural diamonds. Even the most experienced jewelers cannot tell them apart without highly specialized laboratory equipment. The only difference is that one was formed in the dirt over millions of years, and the other was formed in a machine in a few weeks. Lab-grown diamonds completely destroyed the De Beers illusion of scarcity. For the first time in history, there is an infinite, uncontrollable supply of perfect diamonds. And because they can be manufactured endlessly, their price is a fraction of what a natural diamond costs. De Beers panicked. In 2018, they made a desperate, shocking move that stunned Wall Street. After decades of insisting that only natural diamonds were real, De Beers launched their own lab-grown brand called Lightbox. But here is the catch. They priced them incredibly low, at just $800 per carat. This was not a move to make money on lab-grown stones. It was a predatory pricing strategy designed to crash the lab-grown market and brand them as cheap, fake costume jewelry. De Beers wanted consumers to think that lab-grown diamonds were for fun, but natural diamonds were for true love. But this arrogant strategy completely backfired. By launching Lightbox, De Beers accidentally validated lab-grown diamonds. Consumers looked at the market and realized the truth. Millennials and Gen Z consumers started asking a very logical, devastating question. If a lab-grown diamond is completely identical to a natural one, why should I pay 10 times more for a rock? Pulled out of the dirt by underpaid miners, the illusion was finally broken. Over the past few years, the demand for natural diamonds has plummeted. The prices of 1 carat and 2 carat natural engagement rings have crashed significantly. The century-old brainwashing is finally wearing off, shattered by modern science and rational consumer behavior. The De Beers cartel told us that a diamond is forever, but nothing lasts forever in the face of technology and truth. The millions of dollars spent on engagement rings were not investments in rare gems. They were investments in a massive psychological matrix, designed by a monopoly to extract our wealth. Capitalism has created many brilliant and beautiful lies, but perhaps none is as successful, as arrogant, and as fragile as the sparkling rock on your finger.
Tap to subscribe. Watch more untold stories next.